23 and stand by Nicoletta please. Episode 23 and Nicoletta go! Hooray! Welcome back. Now you might notice that you can't necessarily see all the soot on the outside of my table, and that is because the Freditor, the ex-Freditor, has come to help me and he's put my phone up there, and so hopefully you don't end up seeing all the rubbish around it, just the jigsaw, which the yin and yang of that is that you realise that there's been a few bits turned over. And yeah, so here we go. Don't know how that is quality wise. There we go, that's what we're after. Big Ravensburger, 5,000 pieces of merry hell. Anyway, we're off. First of all I have to do this, don't I? That little cut hopefully has, oh, I'm going to avoid that. That really hurt the other day when I put my clarins on, and I'm just, oh, it hurt so much. Right, it's there. What is this, you say? What? Oh, see, now it's so hard, I don't know whether you can see it. What is this, you say? This is Ginger Zebra, launching today, and it's fiancée Zoe's website is launching today. Yeah, it's Zoe's Ginger Zebra, because her logo is, yeah, because life's hard enough. So it's a lovely website, so get yourselves onto there please. I'll be mentioning that throughout. Hi Beth.
Hi.
So look, we've got a lot of pieces all over the place. Right, so we have to turn them back over, Beth, because basically Fred went onto the table. Which is,
on the table?
Yeah, I did move jigsaw pieces out of the way, but to try and get my phone set up. Right, so what's happened since I spoke to you? So didn't do one yesterday for so many reasons, but nutshell, ran out of time. And normally I can wedge in half an hour and it's all fine. Oh, what time do we start? Oh, 5:02. Okay. So let's start. So the lovely Rowan and the lovely Arige or Arig. Now I was phoned actually the other day by John of the Shire of Cambridge to say you've got Arige's name wrong. You keep calling her Arige. Her name is Arig. So I spoke to her yesterday on Zoom. Turns out, she actually said I'm saying it better than she does, because Arige is actually the proper pronunciation in Jordanian, whereas Arig, hard G, is actually the Egyptian way of saying it. So sort of both right. So I can now go between both of them. Either way, Arige is Gorgina. And she wasn't wearing her crocheted outfits yesterday, so they must have been in a little wash, eh? But however, I've also got, you see, you know, like I said, I've got a lot of Bens in my life, I've got a lot of Toms in my life, I've got a lot of Matts in my life, all of that, same names. Well, I've now got RG, right? But she's not RG, she's called Argy. She is with a hard G, and she's in Sydney, and she's the one who's in Hungarian dress down there sipping Prosecco, right? So, ironically, I called her Argy the other day, and apparently that's just the name that Siri called her. I spoke to Darren today, Fringe No Fringe, and he said, no, it's Argy with a hard G. I said, I've never heard the phrase hard G so much, and I've been told it twice in a week. Hard G. Anyway, but the irony is, apparently Siri will only acknowledge when he says, Siri, call Argy. Doesn't know who she is. But if you say, Siri, call Argy, all over it. So again, I'm right on both counts. What's exciting about Argy is that since we talked about the fact she's got Hungarian roots and hangs out in national dress a lot, a Hungarian group has been in touch and have tried to encourage her to be part of their gang. So that's brilliant. So there should be quite a few Hungarians down there in Australia, all getting together in a pretty thick embroidery and dancing and doing traditional dance together, because I know that Argy is a super fan and knows it off by heart. Like most of her life has been involved in it, and apparently she can spin on a top and not spill 1 second of her drink, which is quite an art form. So I'm glad to clear that all up. What's that bird on the roof? Can you hear it? Can you hear it, Beth?
Yeah.
It's really fast on the roof.
Maybe it's a pigeon.
I don't know. Can you hear it? I wonder if the mic's picking up. Anyway, that's really made me laugh. Right, so we've got some new listeners, right, which is exciting. So we've got Henry, who lives in Brighton, but is from the Shire of Cambridge also. And he talks really shires, Henry. So Henry's listening. He wears a little beanie hat because it is his wont at the moment. It's the thing to wear. And we saw him the other day because it was his birthday. Yes. Oh, yeah. We saw it on his birthday and it was like 28 degrees, small beanie hat on. He looked like he was boiling his head like a bastard. It looked absolutely, but when you're trendy, you can't stop being trendy. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the weather is, does it? You have to be cool. So, yeah, he was smashing that out. And then I saw him last night because we had a big family Zoom, big quiz, as everybody seems to be doing. And he was wearing it again. Indoors. He said it's hiding his hair, but I mean we've all got mad hair. It looks ridiculous. Right, Beth, how are you getting on over there? Have we got the brickwork pile? You're doing really well over there.
I'm just trying to find.
You're doing so well.
These pieces go.
Yeah, the brickwork pile. So good news though, Mrs. Hang on, where's the logo gone? Fiancé Zobles, who is Ginger Zebra. Going to leave that just there. Bit of product placement. Although it's not really because I'm not being paid, it's just a friends thing. Well, it is product placement. Shut up, Julie. I'm just remembering that on the YouTube things it says, is this for children? Definitely not. And it says, are you doing any product placement? And I sort of am, but I think it gives the impression that if I should tell you if I'm being paid for it. But that is just recommending a friends thing, right? What was I saying then?
Can't remember.
Oh, I can't bloody remember.
I wasn't coming in to do this.
No, but you weren't even listening, it turns out.
I was listening.
Oh, no, I know what I was going to say. So, Fiancée Zoe, the reviews this time, because, you know, she's been pretty hardcore on the notes, right? Saying, you know, it's appalling, your system's bad, la la la. Over the weeks has been pretty critical. Anyway, spoke to her earlier, and she said, I have to tell you, she said, your system's good. She said, I like your different systems, getting brickwork, windows, words, black and white bits. And so that's high praise indeed, Bethany, because we haven't had a compliment so far. I think it's probably because she's launching this bad boy. She's trying to befriend me, isn't she? But that's very pleasing. Unfortunately, her beloved fiancé Ollie is smarting again because I'm smashing him at Words for Friends. So sadly for him, he lost again. And by quite a merry mile, I have to tell you. When we spoke to Henry, we saw Henry yesterday, we had a guy called Keaton, who is basically our favourite. He came for Christmas with us. He's absolutely delightful, and he first became the favourite of all the children. And so he's now called Keaton, hyphenated, our favourite. And you must only know him as that. And we met his girlfriend last night, and as a joke I said, Maisie, don't ever upset that boy because we'll all be after you. But it didn't sound as comical as that. It sounded actually genuinely threatening. So I had to do, you know, the little chat bit on Zoom. I had to reply to Maisie, sorry, I sounded a bit threatening. It's just that we love that boy. But I was joking. So hopefully they're both coming for Christmas as well with us, if you're allowed to see each other. Who knows? Who knows what we'll be able to do at Christmas?
Quick question.
Question.
From me.
Question.
How much is a pinch of salt?
Is that why you came in and accidentally ended up doing this?
Yeah.
A pinch. Just get a little pinch.
Good
luck with
and
that.
When I do bicarbonate soda and baking powder, it's not a cup, is it?
No, because we will spit it out like we did before. Yeah. Because one day, so Bethy's really rather good at making these cookies. And we've been making them together and she was excellent, right?
Love you. I'll be back in a bit.
I can't wait to see you. Bring beverages. Bring Diet Coke with lemon and ice.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, so basically we did these great cookies and she was really brilliant at it. And then I said, look, I'll leave you to it today because you're all over it and I'm going to do something else. I can't remember what I was doing. Anyway, we tried these cookies and Fred and I tried them and we actually spat them. I've never had anything more shocking to eat. It was like, spat it across. We were like, ugh. But for some reason, and Beth had not done this before at all, and all these days I have no idea what to do. Instead of a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda and a teaspoon of baking powder, she did a cup. She did a cup of each. So this salty, yucky bicarbonate, oh my God. So yeah, they were thrown straight in the bin. Not even my dogs, who are totally wantonly always scrounging, even they didn't even bother. They didn't even want to go near it. But I'm going to go around the other side, because now I feel that because this new setup, I can merrily go around here. Can I? Is it still working? Who knows? I'm just going to see. Please be working. Please be working, phone. Let's see if it's running. Is it still playing? Yeah, great. Yeah, great. So now I can come around here and here. Although I've got to lean in quite a lot. That's all right. But the microphone's over here. This whole new system is rocking my world in episode 23. So we've had Keaton. Keaton, our favourite. You've met Henry. He's lovely. He's lovely. He just smells a bit and speaks from the shores. Yeah, I'm Henry. He's lovely. He just needs to wash that hat. And Henry, if you are listening, I am happy if you send that to me, babe, in the post. I will put that on a little wash, because I just think for everybody you're living with, it might be kind. It just might be kind. Right. So I'd also like to welcome Chris Hill. Now, Chris Hill has become a subscriber. It pinged up. It said Chris Hill has become a subscriber. So that is most exciting, because is Chris enjoying it? Has Chris got notes? Is he going to message me? Who knows? Who knows about Chris Hill? And tried to find a bit about him, but I couldn't. So, exciting time. So everybody be very welcoming of Chris Hill. And we'll try and find some anecdotes about Chris. Right, so I've got an email from the Commodore. Hang on, I'm just going to get my paperwork. Oh, please say I didn't leave it. Oh no. Oh, is that the wrong one? Oh, I think I've done it again. I think I printed all this. Pants. Did I? I'm going to have to get. Oh, what a pile of knickers. Oh no, hold on. I've got it. Got it, thank goodness. Right, got it. That gave you a little bit of time to look at the jigsaw pieces. And I know that those people who are really keen to come in and be a guest in the shed are so excited about doing the jigsaw. And actually, I just want to do the jigsaw because I keep finding myself coming in and think, oh no, I better not. But then I think, oh, maybe I should do a bit. But then that proves Paul the ex-plumber point. That I should be doing bits. But then we're meant to be doing it together, aren't we? It's a very confusing thing, working this out, what to do for the best, Right, okay, here's the Commodore's email. Dearest darling Julia, I don't have a quick question. This is a content comment. My favourite part of episode 21 was the end. Not because it was the end of the broadcast, although that is always a blessing. It was because I was able to savour the imagery of you swinging your substantial braless breasts as you fervently waved your hands. I think lockdown's getting to him as well. Episode 22 was just about salvage because I was able to view down Bethany's heaving cleavage several times, which thankfully distracted me from your inane natter. Right. Personally, I would prefer it if you provided more of this type of content and less of the jibber jabber about your jigsaw. Thanks, the Commodore. Wow. I see. I'm sure you're not the only one. I think you're the boldest to say it. And who knew? So those people who know the Commodore, he's bolder than you think, isn't he? And I think he's got a point. It's so curious what's going on in the roof in here. Can you hear it? God, I hope you can hear it. It's a bloody great pigeon. I don't mind pigeons, but I also know that pigeons bring out absolute. I mean, my mum has got. Well, I'm going to show you. Oh, here. Yeah. So Nanny Tish. There she goes. Hopefully you can see that. She came round. Again, she had a social distance in our garden, which was so nice because it's very nice for her to see a different change of scene. I have to say. Anyway, she came round and she said that she bought like this plastic, because pigeons in her garden eat everything in her garden. They seem to just nibble away at everything she's planted, right? So she bought a plastic hawk. She had this plastic hawk, which is meant to, she bought it on the grounds that it's meant to totally and utterly deter pigeons, right? Scare them, think, oh, that's a hawk, that'll eat me. Doesn't. The actual pigeon sits on the bloody plastic hawk and has chosen to nest again exactly where it did last year, no matter what scaring device it is. Mind you, I think even pigeons suss after a couple of days if a great big bloody hawk's not moving, it's not a real hawk. I just don't think they're that stupid. Anyway, so she came round and she told me about that, about the plastic hawk. And she also said she loved coming around the other day. She said it was nice to get out for a blow. So I don't know where she went after hours. Anyway, so I'm just referring to my notes again because I have to. Hillary's mum's house. Right, okay, gingerbread news. A lot of people have been messaging me, contact me saying, can you update us about the gingerbread house? So I said, of course. So gingerbread news, right. So for those that haven't listened, because some of you are jumping around, Hillary's mum's house in Canada is made of gingerbread. Total gingerbread. 3 sisters made it, baked it, iced it, the lot, right? It's been there for years, glazed it, everything. And it's like a local legend, okay? Anyway, so overnight, a couple of weeks ago, some creature came in, ate the stairs, leaving her mum stranded upstairs in the house. So, aluminium ladder came out, her mum, Anyway, so since Hillary has made some shortbread stairs because she thought they would be actually more substantial now, found an amazing recipe. Her and her sister have been baking that. The shortbread, so they had building control come around the other day and they have signed off on the gingerbread stairs and they have said, which is most pleasing for Hillary and her sisters, basically has said that the shortbread stairs are far superior to the gingerbread ones, and they've been signed off. So hooray, the aluminium ladder. Thanks very much. Great service.
Wow, your phone's really up there, isn't it?
It's really up there. It's also something that I can never ever achieve on my own. So I know that those people who are worried about the house will be very relieved. And yes, fiance says I'm lobbing a little bit, but I think until I get my microphone all sorted, I'll have to move it in a bit. Sorry, a bit of noise. Until I get that sorted, I'm going to have to lob because I realise when I move over there, can't always hear. So gingerbread hair.
That doesn't go there, does it?
What's that?
There.
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean, no.
I thought it was the same one.
I am a bit worried because I found some bits in a box behind me. So when we finish this, which is in about 8 years' time, I think I'm worried there's a few pieces missing that have been carried off on a dog or something. Do you know what I mean? These purple bits could go over there. Those purple bits are pleasing, aren't they? What we could also do is hone in on a zone. So like we could like one episode, we could just go in and do one area. Like really, but then that's really hard to do, isn't it?
You can do a silent. You can also do a silent one.
I was thinking of doing a silent one. I have to see what people say about that. I mean, I know Dwayne. Hi.
Before I go and do my cookies,
yes,
the whole thing.
Yes.
Because I haven't done them. I've just done my prep.
Mhm.
Could I have the lid, please?
The lid.
Yes, please.
Stand by, please.
Thank you.
There we go. Hope that helps.
So how are you gonna? How do you know if you've got enough time?
What do you mean? Have I got enough time? I know that I know when I started by my normal watch.
Ah, okay.
Because all my technology now is actually held up over there. Right. So thank you for the Commodores. Do you want to hear what the Commodore said? He enjoyed. He said episode 20. I'm just reiterating this because Bethany hasn't heard it. Episode 22 was just about salvage because I was able to view down Bethany's heaving cleavage several times. There we go. Hashtag proud. A few years ago, Beth, I'd have been able to make some money out of you, but I think those days have gone.
They have gone.
I'm not allowed to do stuff like that. One of those parents that pushes them.
I work in the theatre now, so
I know, rather than.
Well,
I could have made a fortune.
When I say I work.
Eventually you will. Once everything opens up again. Right, so that's good. Okay, tinnitus is full on today. Sorry to mention that to the landlady of Hove actually, because I know that the minute I mention tinnitus, it reminds the landlady of their tinnitus. So sorry about that, but it just came out. Yeah. Oh, see, these bits go here somewhere, but I don't know if these are on camera now. Whether I'm just so high up doing edge bits.
Finding stuff that go into the door, into these windows.
Oh, well done.
Every single place.
You're very good at that. Oh, I've just done a bit, but we'll have to see whether anything I'm doing down here is actually relevant or you're able to see it. My mother-in-law messaged because she was contacted by us. And so, again, if you haven't heard, my mother-in-law the other day was sitting out, it was boiling hot, right? Boiling. And she was sitting out topless in her garden, as is her wont, little courtyard garden, nice, lush, nice bit of lavender, nice smells around it. Sitting out there topless, and the Iceland, I thought it was a Ocado, turned out to be Iceland. Delivery driver came in, he dropped his aubergines and he left. And anyway, so they've been in touch since, so obviously it was a bit of a story back at the old depot. And they brought her round as sort of, not compensation, but as a thank you really, I reckon. They brought around a box of twisters. A box of twisters, free twisters.
Is that ice cream?
Yeah, so that was pleased. So Grandma was over the moon with that. So she can now be topless with a little cheeky twister in her mouth.
Oh, I do fancy an ice cream.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jane from Suffolk's been in touch. A few weeks back I mentioned about Jane and I when we used to go on the number 24 bus down to Lee and play our flageolets on the bus, and I was saying how if you got your flageolet out now on the bus, well, you'd be beaten to death and or chucked off the bus, either way. Anyway, Jane mentioned, she heard this and she said, that's really funny. She said, but I've been getting my flageolet out a lot recently at home, and the yin to the yang of that, where she's loved tinkering with her flageolet, but her husband's so sick of her playing that, like fiddling around with it, that he now works a lot in his sort of, they've got a bit of an outbuilding, so whereas he was working in the house and they were chatting a lot, he's chosen to now actually work out in an outbuilding because Jane's flageolet playing is well, her getting a flageolet out's getting a bit too much. I think it's taking its toll. But I'm glad that you are. I'm glad that you're all right, Jane, with that, and I'm glad that it still gives you as much pleasure as it did. So now I mentioned Nanny Tish earlier, and the fact she came round and about her plastic owl. But because she was in episode 22 as a little cameo, right? A self-distant, or what's it called? Not self-distancing. Social. God, so many new words. Social distancing version, right? And I said, "Oh, did you listen to it?" She went, "Nah." And I said, "Sure." So I listened to the first one, but a bit long. The first one was only 15 minutes, because I knew even less what I was doing then. She said, "Nah, they're a bit long." so that's it. So that will be the only one she ever listens to. So that was that. I thought she might even like to hear how funny she was, but she couldn't give less of an arse. We're officially out of yeast here now. And as my Auntie Val banned me from making my own for many health and hygiene reasons, we've only got bloody sourdough starter. So we're going to eat a lot of sourdough because that's the only thing that's thriving.
Oh, is that why Fred can't make any white bread anymore?
Yeah, we can't make any, Beth. You know what's going to happen?
Could I have a little bit of your...
Yeah.
Right,
you know what's going to happen? We're going to have to buy bread like normal people. So it's going to go back to the old days, Beth, where we actually buy bread. Thank you very much. Now this is like one of the first Diet Cokes I've had, because years ago I had that weird condition.
You had one yesterday as well. Right, I've got to go and do my cookies.
You must go.
How many are you doing today, Mum?
I'm just doing this one.
Oh, I thought you were doing 2 today.
I was, but I'm running out of time. I'm doing this one.
Bye, guys.
So Simone, who's Australian, Simone emailed. You know, so Simone had tapeworm. She was worried she was getting a bit overweight, so me and her spent an evening. Well, I helped her through it. She had a tapeworm, and so Simone's a dancer. She's a bloody good one, and she's cocking funny, right? If you ever get to work with her. And every time I work with dancers, I put on loads of weight. I was on Scottish Ballet. I used to go, "You leaving that?" And they were invariably leaving it, whatever was on their plate. So I used to scoop it up, put on loads of weight. And the only place when I can't now, forgive me if I've told this story, but years and years ago, went to China with Scottish Ballet. So sorry if I'm repeating this. Years ago, small scouting tour of China. Went to these amazing places, places that the large scale company went to all the big cities. But we went to these crazy small places which were wild, and I bloody loved it. But we had to have all these we had to have lots of meals with delegates from the Chinese authorities and stuff, which was completely fine. We had like dancer, delegate, me, dancer, delegate. You know, it was like you were put between a Chinese representative. And the food made was amazing, and I got taught how to make pancake rolls with just chopsticks and stuff. Loved it. Anyway, apart from, and the dancers don't eat anyway, do they? But they didn't then. And this enormous plate came out. It was like, there were about 20 courses, right? Anyway, this enormous plate came out, and it was an enormous sea slug on it. And as it moved towards us, it lightly wobbled, like I can't explain it. It wasn't even wobbling, it was like woo, woo, woo. It was huge. And apparently it's a real delicacy out there, and all the dancers were freaking out around this table going, Julie, I can't eat it, kind of like freaking out and like feeling nauseous. Because rice cakes hadn't been invented then, and if they had them then they'd all have been living on that. But anyway, they were freaking out, and it was, I have to tell you, it was actually, it was horrific as it came towards us. Anyway, so then they cut, so this, it was on it's huge platter, and then this guy started cutting it, and it was just, as he moved the knife, the sea slug sort of went, moved the other way. Shocking. And they cut us a bit off about that, and they put it on our plates, and I mean, well, the dancers were just beside themselves, crying and stuff, weeping slowly into their plates. And it was really rude to not try stuff, so we had to look like we were having it. The dancers went absolutely not, they refused. But so I had to pretend, because I was a really nice couple of delegates on either side. And I tried. It's that sort of texture where if you bit on it, it doesn't change. You can't bite it. It's like a solid jelly. Well, it's like eating a great big fucking slug, which it was. It was, and I was like, oh. It was absolutely horrific. And Florrie's going out now. So I just remember that really well. That's the only time I did put weight on with the ballet, I have to say, around that meal. But every other time, yeah, you're leaving that. I love it. And one dancer who was, I've just got to let them whip it out. Hang on. Why do you want to go out? You're going to come back in a minute. Come on. She's going to scratch to come back in a minute. One dancer who, I mean, this was many years ago, right? Well, years and years ago, I was with the ballet, and all the dancers were just delicious. And this was a different company, and one of the girls used to have a tissue, a man's 3-ply tissue, and put them into 3 places, tear them off into 3 bits, because it was 3-ply. And she'd eat one, loads of water, second one, loads of water, third one, loads of water. That was her meal. Bloody hell. Needless to say, I know you can't see my body, but let's just say I have never ingested a tapeworm or tissues. Anyway, this is all by the way. Simone sent me an email with a picture of her doing the splits. Now, all I can say is I can't unsee this. I can't unsee it. And as the way that the audience are grimacing around, I don't think they can either. It looks like she did the splits from a height and nearly broke all her undercarriage. She is going da-da, all thrilled, but the audience probably looked like I would, like a bit tested the gag reflex more than the sea slug. Yes, and I have thrown I know that some people worried, I have thrown the camembert out. While Matt was on his cycle, I threw the camembert out. I can't bear opening that fridge door anymore and smelling camembert. It's like, oh. I've made a lot of that noise. Accidentally, all of these anecdotes tend to lead to that noise today, but that's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. It's not a mistake, it's actually irony. Dom has messaged me. She's from Devon, but she's currently in the New Forest. She's messaged to say that she has got a new Carhartt vest top to wear for the summer, which I know, well, I'm sure everybody listening is really thrilled for her. I'm sure it matches all of your other Carhartt outfits, winter and summer. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you felt that you should tell me that. And me dear, Nicholas dear, no, he still hasn't got a dog. I know lots of people said, is that Nicholas dear? Me dear, you dear. Has he got a dog yet? No, he hasn't. I nearly have. I've nearly got another one, but we're not telling Matt that yet, are we? But listen, I think that's it. I'm going to save my other hilarious anecdotes for another time. I'm going to try and get my pile sorted out here. You know what I mean, these piles. Look into that one. It's coming at you. Nice gift boxes. Pleasing. And I love you all very much. And I'm going to say goodbye. It's not my finest one, but then I don't think I've had one yet. So lots of love to you all and stay fresh.